Yu-Gi-Oh! Is an extremely expensive card game. Duelists will spend thousands of dollars just to compete at a high level, and I'm here to prove even a budget duelist can succeed. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more, it would really mean a lot to me if you would subscribe. These videos take a lot of time to make, and each subscriber really pushes me to make the best content I can. Alright, let's get into that video. Alright, I've danced around it for long enough. It's time to tell you guys my plan. So Traptrix are a very weird archetype. They're both insects and plants, which means you can't Xenolock yourself, and they're all earth monsters, which means they don't have a lot of generic support like dark, light, water, etc. They're also a weirdly self-contained archetype where they don't really gel with any other archetypes anymore. I've seen things like the Therion Traptrix builds, which don't really seem that great since they introduce a lot of main deck bricks. I've seen things like the Amazement Traptrix, where they kind of just act as an axis to get more interruption on your opponent's turn, but nothing that actually uses the Traptrix in their entirety. And that's where what I want to do comes in. The Vernisylphs are a kind of weird archetype because they're earth fairies and they revolve around the fact that they are earth fairies. However, they also just function with generic earth monsters. You get a lot of resources off of things like Thawing Mountains drawing a card and Misting Seedlings adding more earth fairies to your hand. You also have a really interesting boss monster in Vera. Along with that, they only lock you out of activating the effects of earth monsters, considering the only things we're locking ourselves out of are things like Hand Traps, Silent Honor Arc, Redoer, and Boral Sword. It's not that big of a deal. Along with that, they are incredibly cheap. The only expensive one is Flourishing Hills, which we don't really need since we're not playing a Vernisylph deck. One of the things that the Vernisylphs allow us to do is something that no other build lets us, and that is get to Serra without burning our normal summon. You see, if you lead with a normal summon of Pudica, you have an additional normal summon in the back if you're able to get the Garden. But without exactly Garden, Arachnocampa, or Holtea plus a trap, you're kind of dead in the water if they ash your normal summon. So being able to get to Serra without using your normal means that even if you go normal summon and they ash it, or they imperm or Valor it, or anything like that, you still get the set for Holtea, and it just lets you get off to the races. So I think it's worth playing and worth trying out, especially with our limited budget. So let's go ahead and see if we can't find some of the Vernisylph cards and see how they play with the Traptrix. Alrighty, so we went to a locals yesterday for the Speed Duel release event for Duelist of Shadows. It was really fun, I had a lot of fun playing, but obviously I'm there, I gotta do some trading, gotta look through some bulk, so we ended up getting some good stuff. So let's start with the bulk finds. So I know I said I didn't like the Therion, Rika kind of Traptrix deck, but I did pick up a Sacred Tree Beast Hyperiton and a Rika Queen Strenna. I figured that the worst case scenario is I have them in case that I do get access to it. I also found a lot of just like generically good cards. We found a Pot of Avarice. This is just one of those cards you pick up because every once in a while someone needs it. I also picked up a Giant Hand. This is like a decent card because it does give us a negate, but we'll have to think about playing it. Another big card that I picked up was Baguska. Obviously it came out in El Dorado. It's a really cheap card, and make Baguska pass can sometimes do it. The final card I picked up from the bulk that is kind of just a generic card is a Nightmare Phoenix. I figured that this gives us an out to specifically there can be only one. I talked about it before in this video, but the Vernisylph cards, in my opinion, can probably be pretty good. So I was able to find 5. I found 2 of the Flowering Fields and triple of the Thawing Mountains, which is probably the best one. And the important thing to remember is we do actually have a Misting Seedlings that we got from our prize support, I believe in episode, 3, something like that. So we do have a decent amount of Vernisylphs, but I'm going to have to mess around with ratios and see what I think is good. Finally, getting onto the trades, there wasn't a lot of trades that I did for this episode, but they're still pretty good. So a guy told me that he was going to have some extra Lancias coming in, so he'd trade them to me. He ended up wanting just a copy of Anti-Spell and Cosmic Cyclone for 3 Lancias, and I was like, no, that's way too little value. So I hooked him up with a good amount of our Sword Soul cards, so he hooked us up with a rarity upgrade for Cucularia. So that's kind of nice. So we do have Lancias, and this is going to be a great side deck card because this both answers Kashtira and a lot of other rogue strategies, but it also does a great job of stopping evenly matched. So it's a great card going first and second. And then finally we traded the Rika Secret Rare that we had along with a Chisao for a second copy of Parallel Exceed. So now we do have 2. I'll have to consider whether it's better or not than some of the other cards like the Vernisylph cards. So we're going to get into deck building and see what we can't throw together. So I decided not to do a paper deck profile so that you could actually see the entire deck and you don't have to scroll through it, but this is the deck we're playing. We have triple Ash, 1 Pankratops, triple Valor, triple Arachnocampa, 2 Dionea, 1 Jinlissia, 3 Mantis, 3 Myrmelio, 3 Pudica, and 1 Vesiculio. We did manage to find the 3 Thawing Mountains and we were going to try playing them, along with the 2 Garden. We have triple Evenly Matched, 1 Floodgate Trap Hole, 2 Gravediggers Trap Hole, 1 Terrifying Trap Hole, 1 Time Space Trap Hole, 1 Trap Hole of Spikes, 3 Holtea, and 3 Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmare. In the side, we have triple Kumongas, triple Lancia, which we did get. We moved our Book of Eclipse into the side for our Thawing Mountains. We have the 1 Trap Trick along with the 2-dimensional barrier. We have the 2 Heavy Storm Duster and the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. In the extra deck, everything's the same, but we'll run through it again. We have a Drill Driver of Espinado, a Silent Honorarch, a Redoer, 1 Alamaris, 2 Pangicula, 2 Rafflesia, 1 Ausa, 1 Boral Sword, 1 Adipus, 1 Cucularia, and triple Sarah. I don't really like the 42 cards. I would like to really reduce to 40. It doesn't seem like it would make that much of a difference, but ever since I switched to 42, I found that I'm drawing a lot more hand traps and a lot less engine pieces than I want to be. Along with that, the amount of traps we have has to be higher because we are less likely to see them. So overall, I'm going to see if I can't reduce the deck for the next episode, but we're still going to take this to locals and see how we do. Going into today's locals, we had a 4-round locals. Round 2, we ended up playing against the Trap Tricks Mirror. We narrowly won it in time thanks to punching for a little bit of damage with a Thawing Mountains and a Pudica. Very funny. Game 3 and 4 we played against Branded. We lost all games to Dragoon as well as Branded Banishment summoning Garura. Looking back on it, that's not actually a legal target since it does have to be a level 8 or higher fusion monster. However, it is on us for not catching it, not reading the cards, and calling it out. But it was not done maliciously, so don't hate the guy in the comments. It was on both of us. We both made the mistake. So we're going to go into today's feature match, which was against Eduardo and his Kashtira deck.
That's more than four.
Alright, yeah, you go first.
Oh, jeez, what a surprise.
No money, only prize tags. The $5 that I get every week is what I use to buy into the tournament.
Alright, best of luck.
All you do is packs and trades, baby.
Oh, trades, okay. That could
Well, yeah, you can trade what you pull from
Oh my
packs.
god.
Or extras of things
Stand by me.
structures.
Yep.
So if you have, like,
This is
maybe you can trade your
embarrassing.
third Pinguicula or whatever.
No way, normal.
Sure.
Effect.
Sure. Yeah. Middle of the top 3.
Yes,
Face
sir.
down, right?
Yeah.
That's fine.
This is not.
Alright, I'll be going
This
first.
is nasty. This is ew. Let's re shut up. Shut a second. Come down first.
Sends the unicorn stuff.
Oh, shit. Okay. No, I really don't know.
Step 1, step 2, step 3.
Nice and quick.
Got a one step there and pass.
Okay.
Think
This
of
is
the
bad, bro.
What, drew like both big bangs? Alright, draw phase, draw for turn. Stand by. Main phase.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Play heavy or quick play duster.
Quick play duster.
Normal Murmello, attempt to activate Murmelio effect.
We'll go to main phase.
What does that one do again? Add?
Adds a trap hole.
I'll just ash.
You can ash that. That's fine.
Start of main phase.
Link for Sarah.
Normal summon Aluber, the Gesture of Despia.
Set 1.
Activate his effect as search.
I will
Well, if the normal summon is
activate
good.
Holtea, hit you
Okay, I will
Terrifying
activate
Trap
the
Hole
effect
Nightmare.
to search Brandon's book.
Activate.
Good to me.
Come on.
So it's Sarah effect to summon.
Zero effect to someone thinking.
Yeah.
No, it's always, it's like 9
She
times
can't be charged by traps, right?
She's unaffected by
I
traps.
can respect the brain fusion.
I can't do that. Okay, you're good.
Okay, then what?
Go
Sunday.
Dionea. Dionea effect to targeting Trap Hole Nightmare to set.
Can she be affected?
She can be affected by traps, just not full Kuro
Order
traps.
for some of these.
Oh, full normal
I
trap?
guess the correct order is to send it and see if you have it.
Alright, yeah, I'll just
Brand fusion.
Resolution, Sarah effect
I'm
to
glad I
set.
did that early because
Sarah,
now I
the
can
set is
play
fine.
around the rest of it.
This is not.
Activate Gold Sarcophagus, banish 8 monsters.
I'm gonna just go with one of Zap this point.
Good.
We'll set Floodgate.
Oh no, yeah, I'm dead.
Maybe? It's kind of hard to guess. Where we go?
I will banish Travagate Mercurier, then activate its effect when banished to search a monster
I'm
that
not afraid
mentions
of the
Fallen
mirror anymore,
Realms.
so
Usually the virtuous.
Already
Yeah, baby. Activate branded opening. Discard Valvez.
battle phase. Redo into
Summon.
Riser.
How much is that?
24 and 15.
Just be
So
tragedy.
take 800. And then another 8 from Sarah. Main phase
Special
2, I'll
Cartesia,
set a
'cause I have
card
Valvez in the
and
grave.
I will pass the turn.
And also pop
Draw.
Stand by redo effect.
Yup.
Then think
Let's
first.
go.
Main phase.
Could be interesting.
Damn it.
You probably wanted that one.
On Summon Cartesia.
No, it's just
Alright.
activate.
Ash.
Let's go game 2.
Yeah.
Please give me a good hand.
Okay, I see where we're coming with that one.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, I had no. It was blind.
May you not have
It's
Ash
just
either.
like, surprise!
Alright,
Your
stand
board is
by.
my Grand Coil. Yep. And then my follow-up
Main
was
phase.
called
Yeah.
by. Like, I could have gotten my own
okay,
Grand Coil.
let's go planet.
Play. Cool. But the call, like the one I've called by is the perfect answer. There's nothing else for it.
Fenrir.
Sure.
That is so sad.
That was a little unfortunate, not gonna lie.
Definitely the saddest thing
Special
about these days. We've only just started, so of course that's the case.
What does that do? It I place a counter on it and
Interesting.
most of the primary counters they become
You got those games. That's why I would never, like if I was going to the 250th, which I almost did, I was not going to play
Actually,
this because I'm like, if they open Ash 2 games out of a match 2 times in the tournament, I'm out of the tournament.
You can
And I
only
don't, like if I don't have call by or cross out,
turn,
like just straight up, like
And I don't know what you're doing.
activate first.
I actually, like getting cross out, like it can really just be done.
Sure.
yeah, it's oh cross out the mirror. Oh,
Kind of had the gas.
if I had cross, if I opened the cross out,
Like,
cross out the
Lancia is
after
not
call
doing
by,
you like any justice, but it's also
cross out
like
super call though, so I
just
probably
had
still
the
would have been in
gas.
a
Yeah.
you
scenario.
didn't have to go like anything weird.
Most likely.
Just grab the cash.
I will say I also did have the cross
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Well, I guess you
actually
do
have
have
the
unicorn
perfect
Fender
counter
on
hand.
hand.
Like, assuming that you're not going to Branded Fusion. If we say, what's the best counter hand that Brandon can have for the Branded Mirror match without conducting a fusion summon on your first turn? That is almost perfectly it. Ash, called by cross out in the mirror, super poly, and a blank to discard the swap. You could not. That's insane. That's crazy.
Like when I saw the Albert, I like tried to
shall
hold back
mill
my
my
small. Like, this is like
It's like the only hand, or the only deck
Sure,
where
yeah, I'll do
that
that.
set back row is actually really good.
that was
Let's overlay.
Sure. I was going for the Arise Art Pass. It's my first time seeing this board.
2 weeks ago. There was like 7 or 8 random players. It was insane.
To be safe from
Yesterday there was
Euro.
me and one other, and then last week it was a Sunday, and it was like I played. It was a 5-rounder.
Yes.
And I played Tratrix 4 times
If I don't
out of
have a
5 rounds.
target,
I was
my
like,
second
damn. I went like 3 and 2. I think at the
Well,
time
you
I
have
was
to have a
playing
target
Labyrinth.
in order to activate a card. Like you can't run it without a warrior.
So
in
I
deck.
come today and you set 3
So if
passes.
you don't have a target to
Labyrinth,
to
or
lead
Tratrix
yourself
again,
in
because
deck,
everybody's on
you
Yeah,
can't.
because I only
crazy
run
people.
one of this and one of that.
Yes, if you don't have a target, you
That's
can't search. You can't activate the
actually
right to search.
I just
really hurts this.
I'm trying to think if there even is a better non-fusion
Yeah, you
summoning
can't.
counter hand. Like
I'm
obviously
sorry.
Branded
No, you're
Fusion's
good.
I realized I'm like, wait a minute, I can't.
I didn't
So
open
let
It's
me.
locals. It's locals.
So okay, so this will come back.
You can ask me.
How did I send him?
Oh,
Yeah, it was her
It
back.
almost makes you want to main deck or that main deck, but at least side like
So I'm
triple.
stuck.
Oh wait, 4 who like
No, I
says you can't play.
Alright, well, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to set.
draw phase, brand red.
You know what?
Oakley dokley.
I don't know. I don't think that's even a
Someone's
good.
got to do it.
You know what? I'll just overlay.
Make big guy. Make Draco sad.
Someone's gotta do it.
Draco sad.
He wouldn't
Make
do
2
anything.
tokens. Summon Cherubini. All that kind of stuff.
Let's go Shane.
Sure.
I'm here like a decent amount.
Whenever I
And you're
can,
good
but
to
I
go.
usually work these days. I used to come
Draw
like
for
twice a
turn.
week every
Stand
week.
by main.
Anything? Oh, anything on standby was
It's funny, like, I must have just missed it like every time I've been here. So I've been coming relatively consistently like once.
Yeah, I was like, wow, she really pulled good for her hand.
The only reason
do stepdad Fenrir.
is because
Sure.
like
It will not activate plan. Well, yeah, will not activate effective plan.
But you need to have
Good to go to main phase.
I don't have a strategy.
Main
When your hand has got Albert in it already, it's kind of weird. Okay, go to main phase. Activate Pistol
normal
Rebellion.
Peter. Attempt to activate effective Peter.
Active effect. Sure.
Grab the card.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get Frightful's in the graveyard.
Whoops. Pistol, sorry. You know it.
It has the hand, right?
Yep, adds to hand. Cool. Anything on resolution?
Yes.
Drop the droll.
Banner effect.
Sure.
That face down.
Sure.
Anything on this
Yeah,
right?
sounds good.
Oh shit. I fucked up. I can't
Shining
actually
effect?
activate this, can I?
Vanishes, right?
There's only benefit.
No, it just
graveyard
locks
if
his
you
own
have,
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You can't go near dragons.
I guess I would have to be.
Yeah, bro, you rely so much
And I
on
just
this
be
back.
used then.
Activate card.
Yeah, I totally fucked up. My brain was that the Abyss Rebellion was Alves, because this normally
Additional
we
normal
have.
summon of Mantis. Mantis effect.
Okay, Tragedy and Saronir is a legal summon. There's a legal summon for Claritas, I guess.
I'll see Spirit
Dragon, if you have my
Or
dragon.
something?
You probably want to go to
I'd
dragon.
rather go to Claritas than Blood Dragon every time.
100%.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go.
Specials, and you have to banish a Scarecrow or Couch Tier from your hand or grave. Yeah.
Delete, and I'll banish. I'll do Tier Limits.
Sure. So Mantis resolves.
Yeah, yes.
Hydro back. Thinking here.
As long as I don't get exposed, I'm like,
Yeah, we
okay.
have to do it.
Well, yeah.
Mantis for Sarah. Rapno effect. Yes.
Special summon?
Yep.
Sure.
New chain Sarah.
Zero effect.
I
Yep.
actually never play Labyrinth players somehow. I just always miss them.
Just not get stuck playing against it.
I was totally against it.
I did. I brought Labyrinth a couple weeks ago and played against all traffics all day. And then it's like die roll format, because if they set up their stuff, they're all unaffected by traps. So it's like, alright, can I get my ladies through all the trap rolls? Because my back row doesn't do anything. Literally, it does not do a single thing.
Garden.
Skill drain works?
They are unaffected. Skill drain works if I flip it first, but it doesn't work if. So if I go first and flip skill drain, and then they summon Sarah, it's negated. Like if they have Sarah and then I flip skill drain, it's unaffected. So if that's why it's a die roll. It's like
You got this,
you
King.
win 3 die rolls, you lose a die roll. You win 3 matches, you lose a match. Summon Albert effect.
Yeah.
So it's gonna set. We're gonna set.
Active Brand of Fusion.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Okay, I fucked up really hard.
Standby phase.
Like really, really hard.
Sarah will
But
activate the
You know what? You can still get that.
I can still do some good things now. And I was like, oh, well, if he's got the Ash, I was trying to think if I could still play around it. I'm like, I don't think I can play around it.
We'll get a.
Oh, what card did he have? I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
The shade breaking need for the archetype. I really
Let's
need
just
to
try to do some
start
fancy stuff. Some Cartesian. Yeah, I'll just be fancy. We'll just be fancy about it.
We're going
I don't think it's
to
gonna be
garden
great.
effect, banish
I've
Sarah.
already trashed my own combos, so I may as well just do
Keep
that.
Mantis summon back
Yeah,
is
I'll be
fine.
Yeah.
Anything?
Nothing. EXCs?
Bro.
And you're stuck to plants and insects, right?
Yep, I'm stuck in plants and insects fire. Active cancel.
It's not there. And then that'll let me. Sarah will trigger.
I do get this still, because Fallen of Valdez is a dragon. Engrave it's a dragon.
Whole tail.
It's only on field.
Yeah, the only field, yeah, okay.
So I'm still good.
Yeah, you're still good. It's just oh wait, no. Yeah, just wait, no, you did it.
It's okay.
No, you haven't.
It's just like in the mirror matches, it's more
This
important.
is so bad.
Oh no.
So I'm like, what can I go for?
You can go
It's
to
like
me.
a problem.
Phase 1,
Go use that. Yeah.
right?
I'm so sad. I'm so mad about my bread and white.
Activate Toy Vendor.
This whole turn would be so easy if I had it.
Alright, we're gonna overlay for
Being able
pink.
to do like
Well, I would have been able to.
Effect, I'll detach Mantis.
I would. Well, my goal was to Dragoon first, but like,
Sure.
I usually do that play with Albaz Engraved, not Repellion. So I just faded that you can't banish unless it's using Albaz.
Grab
It's
another.
Poly if you're not using Albaz Engraved.
Well, no,
I will. I've already used Fenrir's effect this turn. I will. I've already used rock. We'll go to battle phase.
Who is your swing?
Fenrir.
Oh, Fenrir got Jones.
Pengu effect to attach the Fenrir.
Attach the Fenrir?
And then this becomes. Yes.
What the fuck am I doing?
Duelist
You're right.
if it
Dude, that's not even a legal summon.
I'll let you switch him out.
No, I'm not. No.
Yep.
The whole point was to do this.
2 waters,
It doesn't double it.
Yeah.
so it's
I
just
just came from work.
So now Pengu can't. Now Pengu is
Grand
unaffected
Resolve.
by the
That's
effects
why I
of
did the
monsters with the same
Protegia. I had
type,
to
so it's
think if I
unaffected
was
by
doing Rebellion
psychics.
or
Oh, okay.
And insects.
That hurts.
Yeah.
Card really is the weirdest name.
I will pass the turn.
Well, maybe it's Grangino? Grangino? Maybe it's like Italian? Granguagno?
Special
Granguagno? That sounds cool. I don't know.
The art's really pretty though.
Here, they'll drop an Ash Blossom.
Alright.
I'll pop. Does that prevent it from, like, or is that only
Protects
battle?
it from battle.
Oh, okay. Now, yeah, I'll just do the.
Because I already used Sarni at the start of the turn. It's a dumbass play.
Mama Pengu.
We really effed
she has
up every
a-
chance we could have possibly done at this start of this game.
You know, I believe in you.
No. It's too many mistakes to come back from.
Alright, well, you know what? It was nice meeting you.
If I super summon while
Let it go.
Alright.
Yeah, too many
Main
mistakes
phase?
to come back
Yep,
from.
main phase.
Effect.
Sure.
Don't connect.
Effect.
Yep.
We'll drop for a grand. I should have taken the take back. Just like, oh yeah, I meant to do that the whole time.
To Ogre.
Totally meant to do that. All on purpose, all intentional, all day. Activate Rebellion, Tribute Albion.
Find 3 I'm like, take that.
add a
Oh, I love those.
Round 1.
Round 1, got cooked game 1.
That's 2, just because I get nibs. Effect.
Rebellion effect.
Banish top 3 of my deck.
Correct. Big Bang.
And you sent the...
Big Bang
I
effect.
sent
courier searcher, right?
the Tri-Brigade Searcher, yeah.
Yeah, I fucked up. I'm not awake after playing.
Certainly not great.
Shang effect.
Yep.
Beast.
And that was already Big Bang, my bad.
Yeah, you're gonna
There's
That's what we
that.
got.
Overlay.
Improve.
Arise.
I don't approve of my own beast.
That's 3.
Yep.
No, that's 4. My bad. Alright, let's go battle.
Yep.
Okay.
And then Sarah.
End phase.
On declaration effect to banish that face down.
I did not see. Like I messed up my
I
Sarner
will
to try to make
chain
other
Arachno
play, so I don't have a thing for
special.
beast.
It's a special.
And then I didn't have the light
Sure.
to make. I could have ended on like everything. I could have ended on like 5 fusions.
Bump into her
Mirror
then?
Jade
Yep.
and
So that's
Dragoon.
player.
And instead I've got
Banish.
Queritus Beast.
Unicorn, effective unicorn declaration.
What does that do?
I just look at the extra deck and banish it face down.
Right.
Oh, right.
Are we at lethal here? That's
Probably not. Well, actually, let me see.
3,000, 26,
1, 2, 3,
24. It's
4.
just over.
We've got, and they have 400 attack gain from their
Oh,
attributes.
yeah.
I could
Unicorn's
probably,
Alright, let's see what we're looking at.
if I just started with the Brand of Fusion instead of trying to play around Ash,
Yeah,
I probably could have done
I wish I could do
Expulsion,
that.
Gimmick, Puppet, Mirror Jade.
yeah, she looks important, so.
with follow-up.
Second Sarah.
My hand was insane.
Rise
I just
Heart, mandatory
completely threw it in the,
Yep.
I threw it in the
Shanky
dumpster and I just said, whatever.
Yeah, bro,
Go
that's so
for it. My
important.
grade is nuts.
And-
I'm almost certain. In fact, I guarantee I could have ended on that.
And the
Probably could have set
29 good?
up Beast Regain or Beast Lost by dumping correctly with Sarnier too. I could have done everything. I could
3,000?
have literally done everything.
And 3,000 per game.
I'm gonna activate
That is right and
summon
red.
itself. Draw for turn.
Yeah.
Super poly. Yeah, you're good.
Rise Heart effect.
Yes.
Yeah.
No super poly, unfortunately.
That'll be pretty funny though.
Main 2.
Yep.
Effect.
Yeah.
Just in case my other birth goes away, I'll have another.
And I can search the
There's no
deck.
way. There's actually no way.
And I will have to pass there.
Alright, one time, evenly off the top. Stand by.
Anything on standby? Effect.
Yeah.
I will...
I'll be the lava golem.
Search my deck for
Activated a couple times.
Yeah, I have to beast.
We'll just do another scare claw.
In response, about I'll activate Brandon ready.
Main phase.
Diana.
Okay.
Diana effect.
Yeah, I have to beast there because otherwise, if I negate Mercurier, then I get boned by what's it called?
Activate Garden.
Just contact fuse. So I have to.
Garden have an effect.
No.
Is Birth good?
To do what?
So when a spell's activated, or
I think that's what I have to
in that case there, I get to banish 3 on your grave face down.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, let's do this. You know what? Anything Tramtress is important. So. Chain 1, chain 2.
Sure.
Sounds good.
That's that.
And do Ash.
Oh, you're gonna attach the ash. Oh, right. Alright, thinking here. Normal summon Mantis. Attempt to activate effective Mantis. Dad.
It's like I definitely have to do it, but also.
Yellow box. That's the other yellow deck box you see over there?
I will. It does resolve
If this card negated, then it would actually be a good card.
Oh.
You can build one, yeah.
Oh.
I got build shit. We'll grab.
attack into it. I'm 28.
We'll grab Basic Julio.
Anything on res?
Nope.
Fenrir 1, Unicorn 2.
Tragedy.
Mind if I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Grand Wignall and
Let's get rid of the other Sarah. She looks important.
Pinion.
New Chain, Rise Heart 1, and
That's on
Shingy 2. At this point, I might just buy more dices.
Second main phase.
Oh, alright, you're good, you're good. New Chain, Planet Effect, pop.
Sure.
So pop.
Negate the effect for normal summon.
Let's do this.
Cards equal to the
Full
number.
banish.
Banned.
Rise Heart Effect.
Shit. Yeah, I think that's it.
A normal trap for my graveyard.
2
Oh,
monsters.
okay. These are yours.
That felt so good to drop the Lancia there, game 1, but I just.
I think I drew the right hand.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think you just had the gas. You just claimed the weak sack.
It's hard draws it. Okay, that's good.
Dominated.
I was hoping you didn't have it based on how you're
3,
playing.
4, and 5. What
You're chilling, you're chilling.
in the shit?
Nah, don't say that.
You can use the field Albaz.
Don't say
You,
that.
in fact, can do that.
Standby.
Sure.
Main phase.
Thankfully,
Normal
because
summon
otherwise
Mantis.
you were out of
Activate
it.
Mantis effects.
So I'm saying, like, the hand is jank as hell, but it somehow works.
For a while, you just kind of have to know how to play against them. Yeah, I don't got time to. Don't let them get to Sarah. That's the plan. Like, you know, when they ask,
Albion.
like, I'm gonna grab her
Albion
like, you know, on me.
Albion is big. Yeah, they're good.
Finish this guy.
They, unless they have an extender and the field spell, the field spell, they're kind of cooked for Holatea.
Activate Arachnocan.
That's like
Special.
And I will use his
Seraphic set.
Sounds good.
out of 40. And Holatea needs 2 cards to do that. I mean, both of them need, it's a extra 2 cards that they need to have in hand. Specific cards. They need to have Holatea plus another crap, or they need to have the field spell or a way to search the field spell and another moon.
Same problem earlier.
We're going to set.
Big boy battle phase. I like it. Big boy battle phase.
Where the fuck is it?
Alright.
Oh, no, then
It's Floodgate. We're gonna set Floodgate.
makes sense, makes sense.
Alright. Then
Let's use the power.
we're going to
I'm just using
set.
just using a set.
But what's the effect for that?
Go. We're gonna set 2 more. And say go.
Total
There you go. Draw for turn.
Yep.
Stand by me.
700 and
Stand by me.
Flip to
Yeah,
Albaz.
okay. I'm in face.
Yep.
Yeah, you got it.
Albaz or in Despia.
Fact is fine, yeah.
And Why are you doing this, man?
Normal.
Bro, I gotta try.
Don't tell me. Did I go through all three somehow? I thought bad.
That's
There's no. Okay, I'm like, there's no way I did all three Illumers.
face down.
Hello, what? That is not possible.
Yes, sir.
Dang, okay, that's a drip.
Bro, be dripping like a leaky faucet. Joe be dripping like Jeff's pipes.
Oh god.
Okay.
Well, not anymore, remove.
Special summoning unicorn, huh? I'll put you on gotta have it. You gotta have it.
There's just one guy left that can swing. Yeah. So it's
Correct.
So I took
What's the
1,400
bird?
total.
Chain debrier, call Xyz.
That's fine.
Phase 2.
Resolution Sarah effect. Oh wait.
Some rebellion.
So what happened?
Sarah effect when a normal trap bar is active.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We will summon. We'll summon Murmelio mandatory effect pop.
Oh no, because the
game.
birth would have activated after that. Because this is on resolution of the
Oh
Weird
yeah,
thing is,
it's
I
resolution. No, Steveberry was in
still have
shade.
wooden chances despite
It's activated.
Sarah for the grapple.
It would be on resolution of. Yeah, but it's.
On the
I think I
grapple,
have winning
because-
No,
chances.
it's whenever.
And then there
Gambling and everything in the first, like literally any amount of one
It's
interruption, I
whenever
could have had
normal
like
trap
5.
cards active. Steveberry's got normal trap. Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
I don't.
Pretty good.
Resolution Sarah effect to set.
Oh, okay.
Hold to you.
Sounds good.
Damn, bro.
No Xyz, no birth, no banishing.
Yeah, I can't do much. I gotta pass here.
Cool. Thank God. Alright.
I'm on lose here.
The bandits.
Draw phase, draw return.
No,
I should have searched it with this thing.
Ooh,
I could've
we got
grabbed
goo.
it and went back.
We got goo.
I don't think it matters either way.
It's not that good, but we got goo.
I think I just grabbed fusion hand.
That's a good question, bro. I don't even know if I know that myself.
Time Thief coming out again?
That's a good question.
I wonder. Oh, shit, we only got 2 minutes.
Yeah. So that. What's the defense of a unicorn?
Probably gonna need it. Let's see.
Well, once he's flipped up, he's at 22. Oh, actually,
I will.
23 because of the attributes.
To get back.
Okay.
Dude, I can't believe I pitched so hard. Holy shit.
So we'll make
Can't
Pengu.
even use Brandon White.
Pengu effect. I'll detach Arachno Camp to add.
Alright,
That is
go to my turn. I think I searched a couple times and I don't know if I had you cut.
We will add. Where'd it go?
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
We will activate Voltia.
Yep.
Brandon Banishment
Sarah
has to summon
Yep.
from graveyard and then super college.
On summer.
Murmelio effect pop.
We will go to main phase.
Sarah effect to set.
Sure.
Destroy the factory.
You feeling confident?
I don't know, bro.
Gravediggers.
If we just get
May
one
the
more
ulti
game
be in
out.
my side.
Cross out.
Oh my god, this game literally opened everything.
I have a trap trick.
What's the chance you have a Nibiru in hand? Because I've gone 1, 2, 3.
I don't know, bro.
That's fine.
You want to risk it?
No, not really. We're ready for Wrath.
You actually cooked me both games with all the specific.
Now, normal summon
literally
attempt
has
activate effect to grab the field spell.
Every time. That's
He's
exactly.
risking
It
it.
is really unfortunate.
Risking it for the bisking.
That is fine. Normal Albert effects.
Yeah.
Wait, what summon was that?
Normal summon Chica.
Oh.
So I grabbed the field spell.
Never been so dead.
That fifth summon?
Let's see.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
You're lucky because I don't have it.
I cut the field spell and
Alright,
I sided out the
do we just go
field
for the
spell.
goo? I think we just
Ordinarily I run.
we'll activate Duracell in the Thawing Mountains, discarding Traptrix Dianea.
Sure.
I typically don't play.
We will special the
Trying a
goo.
much worse build.
We will special. We'll draw a card and special Dianea. Dianea effect to reset.
Well, I suppose you're also playing.
My dad.
Probably.
I'm playing more Bistrels. I'm playing more Bistrels and more Despias, Aquaritus.
And you're playing the really cool effect to have.
Bro, if I didn't bring that game.
My build is definitely worse than the standard, but the standard beats it. So, and if you open Super Call, you
Is there any way to get the
Can I
guy?
have 100 life points left?
Bro, I just burned you with Traptrix.
Oh, did you burn me?
No, I didn't burn you yet. but I can.
Oh.
Here, probably.
We'll just go for it. We'll make the redo.
A trap tricks from my
Activate card.
No, I was.
Additional normal summon Dianea. Dianea target Mantis.
Cards are all
Yeah.
list. How many cards are you playing in one deck?
40.
We could go for something else, but we're not going to.
You must do.
I know I want to do it, but it's not. It ain't the right time. It ain't now. We're gonna make Oedipus.
I gotta try.
Oh wait, no, Oedipus is
okay,
bad
but
here
it's hard.
because we don't have a trap hole engraved.
Target Albion.
Okay, what can we go for?
Dimensional barrier hole.
Nothing. I'm playing.
That's what you sent off a banishment anyways.
Let's see. Alright, so
That's what you. That's not. That was not a legally fusion summoned Albion, right?
That one was legally summoned.
That one was.
Yeah, I summoned it.
No, never mind then. No, that was one you dumped off in your team, or did you not?
I haven't done that.
Oh, you just haven't. Okay, yeah, target it.
Alamaris.
Target it right away.
Alamaris detaching 2.
One other card.
Special back Dionea. Yeah, Dionea is the highest attack top. We will attempt to enter the battlefield.
Oh gosh, sure.
Obviously, shit.
We will. So you said it was well, because it feels
21.
so that's 20.
Yeah,
you have to.
We'll go Alamaris over, and then Tango effect to attach. Yep. And then we'll go.
Do you run the Queritus?
So we'll go Dionea for 17. We'll go Sarah for 800.
800.
We'll go Redoer for 24.
Oh god.
We'll go Tengu for 25.
I'm still in?
It's not quite lethal.
Let's not do that.
I'll take 600.
Yeah. Main,
This guy.
if I had it, it would be awesome right now. Let's see. Main phase,
Let's do defense position now.
Okay. Okay.
So use Tengu effect.
Okay. Regain effect.
Yeah, 600. Rafflesia wouldn't have even done it. That's fine.
You got a burner in there?
Lost trigger.
Got a cowboy?
I don't know if you can.
Nah, I ain't got cowboy. But yeah, go ahead.
I pitched game. I could have fucking destroyed.
Standby.
Yep.
All because I read Brandon White wrong. Or
Oh my god, where were you earlier?
no, I didn't read it wrong. I didn't have allies engraved enough.
Let's go battle.
Played like I did. If I kept that,
End of battle?
then the game won cooking. Good game.
End of battle phase evenly.
And deciding a feud spell.
Don't know if it'll make
It's
a
right
difference,
here.
to be honest though.
Dude, any of those decisions.
I'm really curious to see how you manage
Big ass or
Let's see. What do
Oh,
we
face
go?
down.
Oh yeah, I can
use this for.
I'll show you right now.
Monster gets banished face down to materials.
Just unside out.
Actually, I can chain redoer to this, so I will.
Is it
I'll chain redoer detach.
Here you go.
Yes, sir.
40 check.
Oh, how'd that dip get under there? What?
Redoer effect.
It's a bad build.
I'm
so
thinking
telling
we're-
you. We got 3 Bistros.
Damn, there's a ton of cards on the field though.
She's asking about that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this
Where's Shangri when I need them right
the
now?
list is going to lose every time to catch Tira. That's 100% guaranteed.
Just don't play Cashier.
Yeah, well, still play against them.
Main face?
Or be better.
She's a quick effect, right?
Yep. Summon you then.
On a good day, I can.
I say plan
I was
active.
up at 45 this morning.
Your turn.
No cards in here?
So it's
And
not a
then
good day.
you can respond with
I went for the.
I'm gonna die
There's Brand
this
Fusion.
time.
Call by have this is one of.
chain link
That's
2.
one
The
of.
effect will
That's
resolve
one
and
of.
you'll be able to use
First summon, effect.
but it will be flipped over.
So I guess I'll add.
So it's an inherent summon.
Yeah, I don't know why I got to the battle.
That's fine.
Because of Sarah. Because of
I do have a Jinzo. Jinzo's inside.
Trap was active.
Have you expulsion the Jinzo?
I have not yet. I have been running that combo and I have not done it. I'm even running other jank crap
Theosis?
like
That was pretty good, yeah.
3 Cartesia today, 2 more carrier today. Like
Theosis, target special summon?
I changed the list up. Got the gold start, got the foolish. I got space for all the cool shit. I don't even know what I necessarily cut to get to this. I guess I'm only running 2 deployments. That's a cut.
That's a
a
Fenrir.
relevant cut.
Effect of Fenrir. Thank you, here.
2 tragedy. I'm even running 3. I don't do it. Look at this trash.
Here.
What did I cut to get here? I cut a fusion deployment to get here.
The ashes in the.
Oh, I'm not running any main deck.
Don't stop, bro.
That's the other thing. I used to be running
Rafflesia effect,
Ash,
detaching
Ash,
Voltaire.
one of Nib.
Just sets.
Bins a trap hole and copies
and
its effect.
3rd fusion. This
Oh, are
is
you
what I ran
kidding?
yesterday,
Yeah.
literally.
So that
Nib,
was
3
special
Ash,
summoned off Theosis.
3 cross out. Yeah, that's what it is.
Trap tricks, trap hole nightmare to negate and destroy the
I'm
Fenrir.
no longer running cross out. I had 1 imp and 1 nib,
And then
3 ash, a cross out,
Cool.
and I was playing like that
Scareclaw effect.
variant.
Scareclaw effect.
I really like the crossover variant.
She is one per turn.
I like it,
Once per turn, yeah.
but I played like multiple games
sure.
yesterday, and it's like, well, they didn't open ash, or they ashed and I didn't have cross out, and then I played through it anyways using like the extra
resolution.
fusion, you know, or like the extra Cartesia.
I kind of agree with like finding the cross up like
Sometimes it automatically wins you the duel game, it automatically exactly what you need to know. Like straight up, that was it. You won.
I go full T effect, banish to summon back.
It could have won you the game if I had just running ashes and opened them in the first game. It would have also won you the go. But
Summon back.
in the end,
Putica effect.
Concept could have been a
I
number
will
like
banish.
anything else too.
could have been.
Dude, if it was literally
Banish the
Ash, it would have been as strong against you.
And then in the next standby phase, you can special summon back any
Because
monster.
it's a monster for guardianship.
Yeah, and it's only him.
And you don't have to banish the random
Well,
features from decks, so you can top deck.
man, I got past here.
Literally, if that was Ash instead of Cross, I would have a better
Sure,
trap.
drop turn.
I don't know, I like Cross up, but I like it as a
End phase
sideboard.
redoer comes back.
And you side like, oh,
And then
you cross out
standby,
immediately, or
you get
cross
to
out
summon,
the D-barrier.
and then
Things that
redoer
you can't
triggers
stop
to
otherwise.
attach.
Like you literally can't stop
Someone
D-barrier
comes
without
first.
cross out.
Yeah.
It's not possible. And you don't, like, how are we, D-barrier
anything on red.
fusion? Okay, pass.
Unicorn effect.
Maybe I'll set up a graveyard for Brandon Red and do one thing on your turn. Actually, I did beat a cash tier player last weekend, or last Monday. D-barrier me.
I can't remember what this card's effect is.
Fusion deployment for Ecclesia, normal Albert. I had an Albert in hand, and I set
Unicorn
Brandon
effect is fine.
and I was able to end on Stapelia twice. And like Stapelia twice was enough to beat his hand, and then I got the turn back. Yeah, because like I Ecclesia
Yeah.
and then discarded my own Albaz, did my fusion summons, had Stapelia.
What's your monsters at right now?
I don't remember exactly how. I
One,
think I Brandon Red
two,
made.
three. So they're at 300. So
The
28.
details are lost to the sands of time. And
29.
I made double Stapelia survive.
Oh god, this is like why it sucks. It's funny, but I don't know if it does it. That's like the shitty
Is
thing.
that a set card or a card name?
This
That's
is
the
card.
story, though.
Yeah, we just kind of have to go for it. Oh, normal summon burn.
The reason I've been playing this also is
What's
because
this? Okay,
I
sure.
feel like everyone here plays evenly matched. Like, I keep running like trap deck too many.
What is this?
Yes. What? Yes. Everybody used to play trap decks.
Battle phase.
Oh no! What is this game?
Declare Boral Sword. Boral Sword effect to gain your
Other
attack.
misplay that I haven't
Yeah,
talked about yet.
Let's go!
I'm fairly certain.
Jeez, that was an intense duel. Like,
That was a little too
He
close.
got it.
That was a little too close.
Yeah.
So after everything was said and done, we did end up going 2-2, kind of average. Again, Branded is just such a hard matchup. I think we need to start building our deck to kind of beat and play around Branded, but specifically Dragoon. Dragoon is just such an impossibly difficult card for us to deal with. The only out we have is Boral Sword, and if we can't get 4 monsters out to make Boral Sword, it's really tough. So we're going to have to see if we can't find a way to main deck some more outs to Dragoon, or just have an easier way to get around it. But with all that said, let's go ahead and get into the polls. I did record them live at the locals, so you guys can see my actual reaction, and, well, I'll just let you guys take a look.
And I have brick four.
Come on, secret. Oh, hey.
I was playing
You called it.
branded to all.
$4 card, but sure.
That is your
Both secrets?
Should've-
No, doesn't matter.
I blame this on you. You had me play the wrong deck. Should have played this deck.
Come on, Ulti. Come on, Ulti. No. Oh, fucking ninja. We got a secret.
Yo, I want that.
So, yeah, we did finally pull a secret rare from our prize packs. We might be able to trade for some other cards that we'd actually want to play, but since it is a ranked 4, I'm going to explore the Galaxy and Photon cards to see what we can't do. We can actually make this in our deck, so I think it's worth exploring. But that's all for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.